Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Part 2 of the half bath renovation is here. Zach, Heyday Development here. So in this episode, we're going to be continuing the demolition from part 1. If you haven't seen that yet, go watch that. It's basically just demolishing what was here prior, toilet, sink, all that good stuff, and then some of the wallpaper and walls. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. We just got to kind of finish it up. There's some walls back here that still need to be taken down, and then some loose things that just weren't particularly covered. So I gotta deal with. So basically, what I was trying to say before I was interrupted rudely is that we're just continuing the work from part 1, and then what we're also gonna do is we're putting in some electrical. We got to put a switch, an outlet, and some lights, obviously. So that's what we're going to be doing in this episode. We're going to be setting up the wiring for that. We're not going to be installing the physical switch and outlet yet. You'll see why in part 3, most likely. Possibly part 4. Who knows? Who knows if I even finish this thing? I will. Okay, calm down. That's basically it. So stay tuned, guys. It's going to be some exciting action. It'll be quite the doozy. Okay? All right. So like I said from the intro, I'm removing all these 2x4s that held in the ceiling that you saw from part 1. Nothing structural in these 2x4s, they're pure garbage, but they were wrapped around the entire perimeter of the half bath. Moving on to this wallpaper, covering the plaster walls, which you'll see come out in a little bit. But I want you to take a look at this lead paint chips coming off of the ceiling here. They're really just cascading all around me. There's a good view of it right here. Just absolute madness. Trust me, dude, it's magnificent, really. Also, one quick pro tip that I did not mention. Behind me was this little light. If I could just get it out. It's basically just a battery-powered light. Since I took out the lighting in here, this is a good handy tool. You just click it and it turns off, and you click it again and it turns on. It's actually quite a fascinating concept. But it's battery powered. It's a good replacement for when your lights are off, so you can see what you're doing. And you just hang it up right there, and it's good to go. So getting back into it, you can see I'm scraping off some of this joint compound from the wall, which the bozos who originally remodeled this bathroom thought would be a great style, which couldn't be further from the truth. And to add to that, this was probably the most tiring process of this whole job. Originally, I thought I was going to keep this plaster in there because it was structurally sound, there was no cracks, nothing wrong with it. But then I decided against it because there's going to be an electrical line that's going to run behind it. And that's really the main reason, but also because if you're going to cut out that much, you might as well just do it all. Am I right, guys? So I'm going to reference these bozos again. We got to take down this door casing because they sliced right through the top of that trim there. Basically, they did that to fit the ceiling in there, which they could have avoided in the first place. But you know, this is the world we live in, okay, guys? It's not a perfect world, so sometimes you got to make hard decisions. There's a life lesson for you. Take that, okay? Just take it. Life lesson. It's free content. We'll be right back. Alright guys, plaster wall has been taken down. All that remains is this lath boards, these wooden strips that run horizontally that the plaster lays on top of. We're actually going to be leaving this in instead of taking these out. They're just nailed in. They're pretty easy to take out. But the reason why we're keeping them in is because we can see there's a stud right here but there's nothing over here into this corner. There's no way for me to fasten the drywall on this end. So there would be a way if I kind of get crafty with it, but you know, it's just, sometimes it's easier just to put the drywall right on top. Got to clean it up a little bit more, but in the meantime, let's take a look at some electrical work. Okay, so down in the basement we have our breaker box. We know that number 6 here is our, I believe, our lights, and then number 3 is our outlets. So number 3 doesn't need new wiring, but number 6, that one is the old wiring that we need to replace. So knowing that information, let's go follow the lines and see where it takes us. All right, guys, I did some detective work. I found that this wire, number 3, labeled nicely for me, goes up through the floor, and that is a GFCI outlet. And then if we move over here, follow this line, we see that number 6 goes up right there, and these two are our kitchen lights and also the half bath lights. I've already figured that out, so deal with it. And then right next to it is number 3. This goes up, and that is the other outlet for the half bath. All right, let's turn off number 6. Number 6 powers the kitchen lights, but it also powers the half bath lights. So if I could just, okay, 1. I'm just gonna break it like that. Good enough. Okay, so now we can see through all the way into the other side of the wall there. There we go. Wow, look at that. Hard to tell what's going on in there. I think what we're gonna do is put a new switch here for the kitchen lights, and then put right next to it a switch for the half bath lights. So they'll be right next to each other. Okay, after some careful planning and cutting, I was able to get this. This is one of the 12-2 wires that you saw coming from the basement. And then the other 12-2 wire coming up through here was going straight into that switch. So now we got to cap off the ends of these wires. The circuit breaker is off, but we're going to keep it this way because we don't want to die. Getting back into our demo work here, we're removing the existing door frame, and we're actually going to be gaining some height from the door because we're removing these 2x4s that were limiting us, okay? I don't like to be limited, so we're going to remove those 2x4s. The original door frame is going to be its full height, its full potential, and you know what? I can't wait. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to be taking out these lath strips, but you know what? I lie sometimes, okay? And this is one of those instances where I lied to you. But the reason for that is because you can see right here, I created a little channel so I could run electrical wire through the studs so that it can be fed to that wall. And then we're going to be having a light switch be installed there. And it's just going to be easier without those lath strips in the way. So now we gotta feed this electrical wire through the studs, through those holes I created, and into the other side. So this is a pretty easy process. You just kind of feed it through, and then you push it from one side and pull it on the other side. So I need to install this gang box up here. This is where the light fixture is gonna be, roughly. Could bring it down here more. We could use this existing hole. This is eye level with me right now. So one of my biggest pet peeves is how the mirrors kind of like stop down here. So I kind of have to shrink down to be able to see myself. So I want the light fixture to be up here, and I want the mirror to like be all the way up here. So people that are above 6 feet can actually see their face in the mirror. But you can see I already installed one gang box here. So there's gonna be 2 switches there. One that controls our light fixture right there. And then the other wire goes up behind this wall here, and then that's going to be our exhaust fan. So it's not perfectly centered right where this existing hole is. I kind of want to line it up exactly with that. So I need to put a block of wood here to make it centered. So I fashioned these blocks together so I can place this gang box on that side of it. I think we're good. nice, very nice. Not bad. That'll do work. That'll do wonders for us. All right, next step. We're gonna run this wire through this gang box. We're gonna open up probably this top right one. Give us some space to pull one wire in. So since it's just a light and it's not, no other power is coming out or in. So we're gonna just grab this wire real simply, feed it through that notch that we just created. Bring it through, just like that. We have it nice and tight in there. And we have a lot of extra wire here. That's okay, it's better to have extra wire than not enough. So we'll probably cut it around right here-ish. We'll leave it like this for now though. We'll curl this back until we are ready to do that. All right, so we're gonna start our unboxing portion of this video. This right here is our exhaust fan. This is the vent that goes outside, and then this is the ductwork that kind of connects the two. So let's just crack this open real quick. You always have a utility knife on hand because you never know whenever you're gonna need to crack open a nice cold one. And by that I mean open a box. So this is the exterior of the fan itself. This will be a light, some screws, and some wiring connectors, guide. But then let's go a little bit further here, and we got our actual fan. Here you go. There it is, folks. This is gonna have to be installed on the wall. Not sure if it's... That's good. That's always good to drop things. So we'll just leave this back in the box. We're not gonna need it for right now. Just wanted to show it to you. That's what we're gonna be dealing with in the future. So the exhaust vent, that's gonna be going outside. Just a simple little device here. You can see, I'll just open it up so you can see it. So just sheeting of metal, and then the physical vent that's going to be installed outside. And then finally our duct, which I'll open this right now, but it's just a 3-inch duct. Whenever you're dealing with 50 cubic feet per minute fans, that's like the lowest fan you can really go for. You only really need 3-inch duct work. You can go 4-inch. It's just slightly more expensive, so I wanted to go the cheaper route. Plus, this will be easier for me to get this through the wall. Let's put this exhaust fan together. We'll just show it to you in live action form. So you can see there's like a little groove right here. I'm just trying to figure this out on the fly. I guess this just goes down and into it like that. Do it all the way around. So I guess that's it. Pretty simple process, wasn't hard. Yes. So we have the 4 little slots here, so this looks like it has to go on the inside. So we'll just shove it in there. Just kind of try to jam her in there. Don't be bashful about it. Don't be bashful, guys. If there's anything I've taught you, it's not to be bashful. It's a little challenging, a little harder than it looks, harder than it needs to be, I'd say. Don't understand how this is supposed to work. So, I mean, it's in there, a little dent right there. Let's go pop this back into place. So there you go, it's in there. I'm gonna smooth this out a little bit. I'll do it off camera because it's kind of challenging. All right, guys, let me take you on a little adventure here. So you can see we have a little hole right there. That's where the exhaust for the fan's gonna be. This is the bathroom, inside of the bathroom. Let me take you out. But as we come through the kitchen, we have this all sectioned off, almost quarantine style. But you can see, I tried to poke through, and then boom, look at that. Through the other side, you can see the half bath. So this hole was actually already pre-created before we even bought this house. There must have been some ventilation system that kind of came through, and you can see it goes outside here. You can see that's daylight, but that's vinyl. We got to cut through that. That's the route we're taking. We got to go through here to vent it out. I got a little lucky that these holes were already pre-drilled. So I don't know why there wasn't any ventilation before, but there will be now. Don't let the soothing music fool you. I was actually pretty terrified on top of this ladder. It doesn't look like it, but I was up there pretty high. But what I'm trying to do here is just scrape out the circle that the vent is going to fit through. I cut the hole out from the inside with a Sawzall. That was pretty hard to film, so I didn't film it. But you can see here, just slip it right through there. Trial and error, but eventually I got it to work. So now all that's left to do is to fasten it into place. There's 4 holes around the vent, so you just screw it in there. Make sure it goes all the way in. I didn't film this, but you're also going to want to seal the edges around it. Okay, view from the inside here. Boom, there it is. You can see it's installed nicely there. A little bit of daylight underneath. Not the greatest thing in the world. On top, it looks good though. So this is the view from the inside of the bathroom. Our next step now is to run the duct from the bathroom to that vent, and it's going to be a nice little happy marriage between the two. There's the connection right there. Duct tape seals the deal. The vent to the duct work. It's beautiful, honestly. Duct tape. Who knew? Who knew, man? Alright, by now you're probably asking, Zach, what are you doing now? Is this video over yet? I gotta get back to work. I gotta go study, you know? I gotta go feed my kids, you know? These are more important things, but what I want to tell you right now is we're putting the exhaust fan in, and this is the last part of the video, I promise. So I fashioned a 2x4, I cut it to size, put some nice pocket holes on there, and that allows me to securely fasten it to these 2x4s that were already built. They were kind of hidden behind the wall that we kind of exposed. So we're actually going to use them as part of the wall. We'll put drywall up there. But before we do that, we got to fasten this fan into place by just screwing it straight into these studs, basically. Got a little close to the ceiling here with the fan placement, but just enough room for the duct work. So get our duct tape out, fasten it in there, we're good to go. Next step here is to run a wire into the fan itself so that it has power, obviously. Now where this wire is coming from, I showed you before. If you weren't paying attention, then that's your loss, okay? But I'm just basically preparing the wire to be connected to the fan itself. This fan has 2 hot wires that need to be connected to, one for the light, one for the fan itself. I only have 1 hot coming in, so those are going to need to be spliced, if you will, connected. If you're going to be doing electrical work, make sure you do your homework. I've done my homework, okay? Mine's done. Mine's submitted to the teacher. It's been graded. I got a B+. Okay, I'm a B+ student. I can't complain. It's not bad. Sometimes B-. I got through. Okay, I got through it. I passed. What do you want from me? Gosh, I feel like I'm never good enough for you. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, the fan, the vent. Dude, why are you still watching this video? I mean, come on. How have you not clicked off of this video yet? Honestly, are you a genuine fan of me, of this content? Or you just want to see the finished product, and you're like, Zach, just shut up, okay? And just get to the outro already, okay? Okay, then here it is. Here's the outro. There was some old wiring that we had to get rid of. We saw that in part 1. If you haven't seen it, again, go watch it. It's up on YouTube. It's free. It's free content. It's free content, guys. What are we doing out here? So what we have going on here is we have our exhaust vent that we need to be installing. This is my son. He was transformed into a box. So what you do is you connect him like that, and it creates an infinity circle for all eternity. Little fun fact for you history nerds out there, but this is some old wallpaper. Some of the first wallpaper that was ever used by humankind is right there. They used to make it in a brick fashion. You can kind of see it faintly, some lines there, but that was the first style of wallpaper ever created by Thomas wall and his partner, Mr. Paper. So you can kind of see the remnants of it out here, but we're just trying to scrape it all up and get it out of there because we don't want it anymore, man. More up there. It's pretty crazy, really.